Spending the last few minutes with Paul Boardman. He is author of the book Ronald W. Reagan to Donald J. Trump, American Ingenuity. Paul, let's talk about American ingenuity. How do we define that? I mean, what is American ingenuity, and how have you seen that changing and waning, if it is?
Well, I selected the word ingenuity very carefully. And there may be a better term. That term is, I believe it's a 17th century term. Innovation, I'll just give you one of Ronald Reagan's axioms is, in your communication, try not to use words ending in T-I-O-N. That is a very typical Hollywood concept, because the words ending in T-I-O-N are new. So if you see a person using a string of T-I-O-N words, they're probably liberal and they're trying not to communicate with you can imagine. And you think about words that go back to the Norman invasion, they're 700 years old, like rain, water, land. Would you select land, country, or nation to talk about about America? Certainly Ronald Reagan would choose land anytime he could. Of course, you have to use Constitution, you have to use a T-I-O-N word. My point is I selected that word very carefully because it's about individual people. Innovation, to me, tends to be more bureaucratic. So if I'm going to go out and talk about American ingenuity, I hope to inspire individuals to use their individual talent. I tend to be more in the area of making, building, creating something of value, and that, of course, gets into bringing manufacturing back to the U.S. Whether you're, I always say, well, whether you're at MIT and you're thinking about, some kind of intergalactic travel or something, or whether you're a person who's making a Christmas ornament, the point is that takes individual ingenuity. I go back to my 12th grandfather, who was the spiritual leader of the Mayflower, William Brewster, and it's just always in my mind how they risked their lives. They were separatists, put together a deal with the crown. They came across the ocean. Their ship was destroyed. 50 people lost their lives. They had indentured servants, and they're in the harbor. They didn't make it to Virginia. They went up north, so they were castaways, and essentially did what I feel is the first American ingenuity was the Mayflower Compact. Then they started to fulfill their deal with England and raising crops, and they owed them 50%. They then started more of a communal system, which didn't work. And the second, ingenuity, I believe was, and this is what's in my mind, but it's individual, everybody, was the fact that they then created private property, which in England at the time it would take, generations. Of course, people own property, but it would take generations for people to own it, maybe 2 or 3. And here we are in America, using our ingenuity to build a better life. So that's really my mission. That's what I think about. I'm working on a television show with Newsmax TV on Sundays, and hopefully we'll have it aired soon. We'll be talking about American ingenuity, and we'll be following these examples and how is hopefully this administration inspiring people to be able to be more ingenious with their time and to create, build, and make. That's really the mission that I'm on.
One of the things that I look at Trump and his administration coming in, and it does seem to me that he certainly has, so far, a very pro-business policy, but it's not 100% business strictly for the purposes of profit. It's a pro-business philosophy merged with a pro-American philosophy. I mean, for example, his repatriation efforts that he's talking about, but also his call to companies thinking about leaving the United States, whether it's the carrier deal or any stuff like that as well. In a very pro-business way, he's saying, I want to lower regulations in this country to help your businesses be more profitable, and I want to lower the top marginal tax rate from 35% down to, he'd like to get it to 15%. I don't know that he will, but I hope he does. But these are things he wants to do to make a much more friendly business environment. But at the same time, he's telling corporations, if you can make even more profit by taking taking jobs out of this country and setting up shops somewhere else around the world, and then you think you're going to ship your goods back in here into America and be able to sell them that way? No, because now you're hurting America in this effort, and that's where he talks about the 35% tariff. So how does that, because it's kind of a, let's make it easier on businesses, but also let's flex our muscles a little bit with businesses. What effect do you think that will have on the growth of ingenuity in America?
Well, we make the rules. You can have any type of profit business you want. You can base it on very strict Christian rules. You can make it secular. You can make it a non-even playing field global system. So, free trade is not free trade if people are breaking the rules. So, it is a 35% corporate tax rate, and that's just an incentive for companies to do deals overseas and take their money and park it all around the world. And they park about almost $3 trillion right now. That money will come back. So my economic analysis that I did, looks at the top 10 trillion. I talk about trillions only. I'm not billions, but trillions. And the corporate inversion of companies taking their money overseas is roughly, we think it's between 2.4 and 3 trillion. That money will come back. Under the Obama years, think of it this way. It's really the speed of money. You call it the regulations slow down money moving through our society. So in 2016, because of the current administration, we will have $3.5 trillion less moving through our economy. Now take that back 8 years. It started at about $2 trillion. So the average is about $2.5 trillion per year inside America that we have not had the benefit of having access to because it's parked overseas, it's in banks. I always look at the movie It's a Wonderful Life, and we've turned our bankers into Potter, Mr. Potter, and there are no building and loans out there. So we need that will change. The building loans will spring up, and they will be moving the money. So that's really a major issue is the money has not been flowing throughout. We have all the money in the world still. You can read my book and you'll see we are by far ahead of China. We're ahead of everybody. We have all the money we need in this world, in this country, to live a wonderful life and to help other people around the world. But it's not moving. It has to. The speed of money is how many times that dollar is spent per year. And right now we are at the lowest level we've ever been at since it's been tracked.
Right.
So if you've got 20 trillion, if you've got $13 trillion in the money supply and you're spending it one time, that's not good. You're in pretty bad shape.
Well,
$1 trillion.
Yeah.
$1 trillion will buy. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. I'll let you finish that point. We've got about 20 seconds left, but go ahead.
Sure. Yeah, $1 trillion will buy you the entire space program since the 1950s twice, to give you an idea. And $1 trillion is not even close to what we'll need. And the administration is talking about $1 trillion in infrastructure. That bill is they think that's closer to $3.5 trillion that we need to enhance our infrastructure in this country.
All right, folks, look for the book again. It's entitled Ronald W. Reagan to Donald J. Trump, American Ingenuity. It's from American Enterprise Radio Publications by Paul Boardman. And Paul, we appreciate your time. Thank you for being with us today.
Bob, thank you so much. It's a real pleasure. Have a wonderful day.
Hey, thanks, you too. Take care.